What if I told you that the Golden State Warriors may be quietly preparing the most shocking blockbuster trade in modern NBA history? What if the moves you thought were minor adjustments were actually chess pieces being slid into position for a nuclear-level superstar acquisition? Because right now, across NBA circles, front offices, insiders, and Warriors fans alike, one name is echoing louder than ever before: Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is not just another rumor. This is not fan fiction. This is not clickbait noise. Something has changed. Something real shifted behind the scenes, and suddenly, the idea of Giannis wearing blue and gold no longer sounds impossible. It sounds inevitable. Let's take a deep breath and walk through this carefully, because when all the pieces are put together, this situation becomes absolutely explosive. The Golden State Warriors are not operating like a normal team anymore. They are moving with urgency. They are moving with intention. And most importantly, they are moving like a franchise that believes a final championship window is still wide open. Golden State Warriors know exactly what time it is. The Steph Curry era is not over. In fact, internally, the organization believes they owe their superstar one final all-in push. And when a franchise like Golden State decides to go all in, the rest of the league feels it. Here's where things start getting interesting. Over the past stretch of the season, the Warriors have made a series of decisions that, on the surface, don't look connected. Rotational changes, contract flexibility, future pick control, younger assets being showcased more prominently, veterans being protected. Nothing loud, nothing obvious. But to NBA executives, this is the classic pre-blockbuster blueprint. Golden State is creating optionality. And when a team with championship DNA creates optionality, it's almost always because they're preparing to strike when a superstar becomes available. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: Milwaukee. The Bucks are not in panic mode publicly, but behind closed doors, there is tension. The league knows it. Executives whisper about it. The front office feels it. Milwaukee Bucks built everything around Giannis, but the cracks are starting to show. The roster is older. The flexibility is gone. The championship glow has faded. And the most dangerous thing for a small market team is not losing games. It's losing belief. Giannis has always said the right things: loyalty, commitment, winning where you are. But here's the truth nobody likes to admit. Giannis is obsessed with legacy. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to be remembered among the all-time greats. And history shows us one thing very clearly. Recently, the Warriors made a decision that confused casual fans, but raised eyebrows across the league. It wasn't about wins or losses. It wasn't about rotations. It was about future control, salary structure, contract timelines. The type of move you only make when you're preparing to absorb a massive contract without blowing up your core identity. Golden State is not hoarding assets for fun. They're positioning themselves to be the cleanest, most attractive trade partner when the Giannis conversation becomes real. And make no mistake, the league believes that conversation is coming. The Bucks know they can't afford to lose Giannis for nothing. If even the slightest indication emerges that he may not fully commit long-term, Milwaukee's front office will be forced into the hardest decision of their era. And when that happens, they will demand a king's ransom. Golden State can offer it. Young talent, draft capital, expiring contracts, immediate competitiveness for Milwaukee instead of a total rebuild, and a front office that doesn't panic under pressure. This is where Warriors fans need to understand something very important. This would not be a reckless move. This would not be desperation. This would be the final evolution of the dynasty. Every championship team eventually reaches a moment where sentimentality must give way to cold reality. The Warriors are at that moment, and they know it. They can feel it. Curry is still elite, but time is undefeated. Draymond is still brilliant, but the miles matter. The West is getting younger, longer, more athletic. Denver isn't going anywhere. OKC is rising. Minnesota is dangerous. Standing still is not an option. And that's why the Giannis rumor is not just noise, it's logic. Because if Golden State is going to make one final move that rebalances the entire NBA, it has to be someone who changes the geometry of the court, the psychology of opponents, and the championship equation overnight. Giannis does all three. Now here's where things get even more interesting. League insiders are starting to quietly acknowledge that if Giannis ever does ask out, even privately, Golden State will be at the very top of his preferred destinations. Not because of location, not because of market size, but because of basketball purity. Giannis respects winners. He respects systems. He respects stars who sacrifice for championships. And no franchise embodies that better than the Warriors. This isn't about glitz. It's about rings. And Golden State offers the fastest, cleanest path back to the finals for a player who refuses to waste his prime. Warriors fans, imagine the Chase Center atmosphere on opening night if that trade happens. Imagine the league-wide meltdown. Imagine ESPN scrambling. Imagine Twitter exploding. Imagine the Western Conference collectively realizing that the balance of power just shifted again. This would not just be a trade, it would be an earthquake. And here's the most important part of all. The Warriors are not leaking anything. They never do. When Golden State makes its biggest moves, they come out of nowhere. No buildup, no warning. Just a Woj bomb that resets the entire NBA landscape. Kevin Durant, Andrew Wiggins, even the original dynasty pieces, all happened faster than anyone expected. So when you see the Warriors moving quietly, smiling calmly, and refusing to engage in public speculation, that's when you should pay attention the most. Because silence is strategy. Right now, the Warriors are waiting, watching, monitoring Milwaukee's temperature, measuring Giannis's patience, preparing their offer, preparing their pitch. And when the moment arrives, they will strike. Will it happen tomorrow? No. Will it happen next week? Maybe not. But is this real? Absolutely. And if it does happen, the NBA as we know it changes overnight. So Warriors fans, stay locked in. Because this is not just another rumor cycle. This is the calm before the storm. And when it hits, it will be the loudest blockbuster the league has seen in years. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because if this trade goes down, you'll hear it here first. And comment below right now. Do you believe Giannis will become a Warrior, or do you think this is the biggest tease in NBA history? Because one thing is certain, something huge is coming.